Simple and Out is the best digital in-out board out there. We have our great website, simpleandout.com, that you can use right on your computer with any modern web browser. So you can see your board and perform status updates and a bunch of other things. Today, we're going to focus on our native application that we build both for Windows and for Mac, Simple and Out Desktop, which you can install and download directly from our website. And the great thing about Simple and Out Desktop is it allows you to do a lot of those things that you would normally have to have a web browser tab open for. Instead, we could do them right in the native application that we have installed on our Windows machine or our Mac machine, as well as a few things you can only do because we built a dedicated desktop application for Windows and Mac. So today we're looking at Simple and Out Desktop. I'm logged in as a user called Sarah Smith. And I'm also noting that this is on a Mac, even though the Windows interface is largely very, very similar. So this video applies to both. So right off the bat, we're looking at the board tab. You can notice that Simple and Out Desktop's really broken into two pieces. We have our menu over here on the left, and then on the right, we have whatever we're on the menu. We're currently on the board tab here, and this allows us to see the Simple and Out board. So we can see all of our users right here in our desktop application. Now, we can do a lot of great things with our board here. I can, of course, sort my board based on just clicking on top of these headers like a big spreadsheet. So maybe I want to see all my in users at the top, or if I click again, maybe I want to see my users that are gone at the top, or click to do name here for quick sorting. I can also have a great find as you type search here. So I can go ahead and look for users really quickly. So maybe somebody asked me, hey, is Joseph at his desk today? I can start typing JOS and be like, nope, looks like he's left work already for the day. Can I offer you his voicemail instead? Now, you can do more advanced filtering in our Simple and Out board here by using this little filter button. The filter button comes up here. It allows us to do things like advanced multi-column sorting. We can filter by status. So maybe I'm only interested in the users that are currently in, and I don't want to see everybody who's away or who might be working from home today. That's definitely a possibility. And I could also filter by groups. So if I want to just see my managers, for example. And as you notice, as I'm manipulating these settings, the Simple and Out board is updating automatically behind me in real time, so I can see exactly what kind of board I'm about to get. Now, if I hop out of the filtering here, I can also control the presentation of this board by clicking this little gear icon here. And this allows me to manipulate things like text size and image size. It allows me to make the profile images disappear entirely if I don't want to see them. And it also allows me to advance control the columns that are showing. So I can look at this and decide whether or not I really want to see, like, do I want to see phone numbers at all? Maybe I do, or maybe details is more important for me, and I just want to see titles. Or you can add entirely new columns here into our column view. It is truly a very powerful way to get a board that shows you exactly the information you're after. Now, beyond all of these settings and beyond this, we call this a table view, but we also have a great, very attractive card view. So up here in the upper right, I'm going to flip over to card view, and now our users are displayed as cards. Now, why this is interesting is this allows us to, again, use our settings to get a board that looks exactly the way we want it to. So if I go ahead and go into settings here, I can control the text size and the image size and everything, but I can also control columns. Maybe I want to have more columns so I can fit more users on the screen at once. And you can control what shows. So maybe at this point, this is really interesting, but change by admin, maybe I don't want to see that. And maybe I don't even care about last updated. Maybe I'm going to get rid of that. So now I can fit a lot more users on the screen at once. So a tremendous amount of control over presentation. So whether you want your Simple and Out desktop presentation to be large, maybe you want it to take up a lot of the screen with a lot of users, or maybe you want something really small. We could get really small with it using our options here. I could do something like, let's just get rid of the profile information, and then let's go ahead and go down to maybe one. And then I'm going to go ahead and shrink my window down like a little check line. Our left-hand border could also be shrunk. So if you just want to see the things here. And now, as you can see, we've really manipulated this down to something very small that we could take with us and put wherever we want on our screen. It's pretty great. So, Simple and Out Desktop allows for a lot of those presentation options in a way that works out pretty great to display your board. Now, I'm going to kind of put this back a little bit. And when I do here, we'll be able to take a look at some other things as well. So I could also click on any of these users. And if I do, I'll get their profile information as well as I can look at their status history if I have permission, or their scheduled statuses if I have permissions, or even be able to update their status by clicking this little icon up here, again, if I have permission to do so. Now that's the board in Simple and Out desktop. Let's go ahead and take a look at announcements. So we have our announcements in here as well, right on a nice tab for you to look at. So you can see the announcements that are important to your organization, whether or not that's all the announcements or whether that's announcements to the groups that you currently belong to. You can also add announcements, again, if you have permission, right here from within inside Simple and Out desktop. Now, if I want to update my own status, you'll notice that I'm logged in as Sarah Smith. My status is right down here. I'm currently in at Arlington Financial. And if I click on this, I have access to all of my information. So here I can perform a quick status update. Maybe I'm going to work from home for the rest of the day. So let's just go into remote and I'll say working from home. And there we go. I'm now working from home. I've updated my status. We're all set for everybody else to see it. And I can do that right here. I have access to my favorites. So I have all my favorites and my company favorites, just like all of our applications, as well as recents. So things I've done recently if I wish. I can see my own past statuses, my own scheduled statuses, manipulate those as well, again, if I'm allowed to. And so this works out pretty swell. So updating your status, really easy from Simple and Out Desktop. Now let's take a look at another way you can update your status. This is one of those that falls into the you can only do this if you build a native desktop application yourself, which we do here at Simple and Out. So in the case of a Mac, I have access to a menu. This is a Simple and Out menu right up in my menu bar. Here I can access my favorites and make status updates really quickly, my company favorites as well and recents. So right now you can see I'm working from home, but if I am going to be going to lunch, I can just go ahead and hit add lunch here. I'm instantly at lunch. I've updated my status, and it doesn't even really matter whether or not Simple and Out Desktop's even visible at this moment. It can be hidden away in my dock or in my taskbar. It doesn't matter. I can update my status there. And if you're a Windows user, this is in your taskbar in the lower right instead. So it's right there for your convenience. Update your status quickly without having to go to the full Simple and Out Desktop interface. It's pretty great. Now, now that we've looked at some of these things, let's go through a few settings that Simple and Out Desktop offers as well. So I click the Settings tab here. Now, there's a bunch of settings here for launching Simple and Out automatically, whether you want the menu bar to show up, some stuff like that. Right now, we've been looking at this interface entirely in dark mode because that's how I like my Mac to be set up in dark mode. But if I'm preferential to light mode, I can go to light mode as well. Obviously, we have a great light mode interface as you could do. I also have access to automatic status updates. So Simple and Out Desktop can again do things a browser can't. And one of those things is automatically update your status based on your computer's desktop activity. Now, we have a whole video dedicated to this on our website. So I'm not going to go through a lot of it here. Just to say that I can just easily switch this and instantly I'm automatically status updating. It's all done. Now we also have notifications here. Notifications are wonderful because they allow you to get notifications, followed user notifications, or reminders, or announcements, or safety notifications. We have videos on all of these topics offline and other places. So I'm not going to go through a lot of it here. Just know that this is a feature that you can also use. You just flip a switch to turn it on, and you're off to the races. You could also manage your favorites, and if you have permission, manage the company favorites right here from within inside Simple and Out Desktop, and that syncs back to the entire organization. So that is Simple and Out Desktop. If you're a Mac or a Windows user and you're on your computer during the day, this is a great way to see your Simple and Out board, to see who's in, see who's out. And it's also a wonderful way to get your notifications on your desktop and make quick status updates and even automatic status updates. All things you cannot do in a web browser, and you can only do when somebody builds a native application from the ground up.